Good morning, and thank you all for coming out. Thank you for being patient because I think I'm 3 minutes late now. If you don't know me, I'm Jeanette Edwards. I'm the founder of, also known as Net Edwards, the founder of Daze Professional Development Group. And this is the first time that we've gone live. This is the first event that we've had. And we are very pleased to bring to you today Mr. Leander Howard II. He is the owner, the founder and CEO of Spark Your Resume, an online writing career development services company. He will be joining Adobe in August as a financial analyst and eventually pursue his MBA. He is an alumni of Georgia State University, where he received a dual degree in finance and marketing through the J. Mac Robinson College of Business. During his time at Georgia State, he has interned at Wells Fargo, Arthur M. Blank Foundation at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and served as the president of Alpha Kappa Psi Professional Business Fraternity in 2019-2020 school year. He has been listed as a Forbes 30 under 30 scholar. Woo! In 2019. He also was the Robinson College of Business Student of the Month in November 2019 and served as one of the 8 panelists for the J. Mac Robinson College of Business Diversity Breakfast in 2020. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Leander Howard II to talk to us today about how to advance your career. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeanette, for that wonderful introduction. How y'all doing, everybody? My name is Leander Howard II. I am the founder and CEO of Spark Your Resume, as you mentioned. And today I kind of want to just go through like my story, where I came from, how I grew up, and where I am today. So like she did mention, I did just graduate from Georgia State, but going into Georgia State, 2015, August, well, I'm from Stone Mountain, Georgia, first of all. Born and raised here, got 2 sisters, mom, dad in the house, been in the same house since I was born, which is pretty exciting. But now going into Georgia State at the year of 2015, I was a walk-on cornerback for Georgia State football. That was the main reason I chose Georgia State was because of their business school, and then I had the opportunity to play football, pursue that career as well. I played football for about 2 years at Georgia State. Love those guys, but it didn't work out, and that's life. So I stopped playing football 2017, but during that time, man, my grades were off. My priorities were messed up. I really didn't have, too much going for myself as it came to my career. I knew what I wanted to do, which was I had my major as a marketing major, and I added my finance degree my junior year. But I didn't necessarily take the steps to obtain like internships or set myself up to prepare for full-time opportunities my freshman and sophomore year. So it took that summer of 2017 to really get my life on track. So I stopped playing football spring 2017 and walked out, got a job at Coca-Cola. And then I realized my GPA was at 1.8 in the business school. And at Georgia State, for all my fellow GSU people in the crowd, I know the J. Mac Robinson College, you have to have a 2.8 GPA to get into the business school, right? So a 2.8 at Georgia State is a B- average, and I had a 1.8 GPA in those 6 classes with like microeconomics, macroeconomics, CIS, BUSA, and both accounting classes, accounting 1 and accounting 2. And I pretty much got all C's in those 6 classes. And it was my semester. I had one more semester left before I would be admitted into the business school. So I had to retake 2 classes on top of 1 CIS class in 1 summer. And I think God just spoke to me, man. I took a hiatus from social media. I wasn't I was working a part-time job just to make ends meet, but I wasn't really fiending for, money or work at that moment because I need to focus on getting into the business school. So doing that, it allowed me to realign my focus. I got all A's that summer of 2017. I got admitted to the business school, and it was just up from there. That kind of changed got my momentum started, and once I got into the business school, I started networking. I started getting involved on campus. I was involved on campus for like different like fun activities, but like really honing in on like, all right, I need to be around more like-minded individuals. Surround myself with people that's actually doing things in their community, making things happen in the workforce, advancing their career, pretty much. And that's what kind of got me on a journey of like getting into internships or like getting that full-time job or part-time job at the bank. And that's another story. Like during that summer of 2017, I got hired at SunTrust. I think it was like April 2017, that spring, but they never called me back, and I never started the job. And it kind of gave me that leeway to focus on my grades that summer, and that's what got me all A's. And then shout out to Kite for letting me work at his parking lot during that time. But once I got into the business school, man, it was all up from there. And I got hired at Bank of America in August 2017. That was actually paying more than SunTrust. So it just shows that, good things do happen. Great things happen to those who wait and are patient and can take care of the things that matter at hand. So once I got a job at Bank of America, I worked there from 2017 to 2018. And that's when I started applying for internships. And I came across the internship at Wells Fargo. I moved to Minneapolis, Minnesota, 2018 summer, spent 10 weeks in Minneapolis working as a consumer lending intern at Wells Fargo. Great experience, met some great people, still connected with the Wells Fargo family today. And I'll talk about how important that is later. And then after my internship at Wells Fargo, came back to school. I pledged Alpha Kappa Psi Professional Business Fraternity fall 18. And then I became the president spring 19, going into that August, that fall semester of 2019. And I served as president until May 2020. But it was a great experience there too, just learning how to manage people, build relationships, knowing how to resolve conflict, different things like that. Comes full circle when you're, going into the workforce, because those are things you just can't teach, right? And to learn that at a young age is very, very important. And I think a lot of employers kind of seen that through my interviews, like how I articulate myself, how I can explain different times and different situations I've been through as a 23 now year old male, but 22 back then when I was applying for different full-time opportunities. So I think that me interning at Wells Fargo, going through Alpha Kappa Psi, and then interning at Arthur Blank Foundation kind of gave me the experience I needed to land a full-time job at a top-tier company like Adobe. So I want to get into that on like how I got into my field, how I became an entrepreneur in the past 2 months, well, really 5 months, but I launched my business on my 23rd birthday. And I kind of want to touch on like what it takes to land these opportunities, especially as a Black male. So when I was applying for jobs in fall of 2020. So I'm coming out the internship at Arthur Blank. I'm the man. I had 2 internships. It's going to be easy to get a full-time job. Guy said, nope, you thought, right? So it took me about 4 or 5 months to get my first full-time offer. And that was from AT&T in December of 2019, their business-to-business sales program. And it made me realize that just because you've had, previous experience does not mean you're not obligated to obtain a full-time position. You still have to do whatever it takes, and you have to do whatever it takes to obtain full-time opportunities, but also realize that nobody owes you anything. And I think that's where a lot of people get caught up. Um, so at AT&T specifically, I applied for the job first, and then I utilized LinkedIn. I found out the recruiter for the opportunity. I reached out to him on LinkedIn, pretty much just saying like who I am, what I did at Georgia State, why am I reaching out, really being intentional about why I'm reaching out, but also being genuine. So where I'm setting up an informational interview just to get to know him as a talent acquisition and for him to get to know me as a potential candidate for the role. So I actually called, I had a call with talent acquisition for about 10 minutes, 10-minute phone call, just discussing like, what the position entailed, what he thought a qualified candidate was, and to let him know that I applied for the role. Soon as I did that, I got the first round interview 3 hours later, that same day. I did the first round interview, I think 2 days later, got past that interview. It was about 30 minutes, basic questions, pretty much star method, and kind of just getting to know me as a person. Got past that interview, got to the second round interview, and that's really where I had to study for the interview. I had to do a case scenario. It was a sales gig, so they wanted to see how you would handle a sales call with a potential client. So I did that and nailed it and got the job on the spot. But that comes to tell you that they just come to show you that networking is key. Like, and that's really what I want to hone in on today. Really how to effectively network and utilize LinkedIn as your number one tool, and as your number one resource to reach out and get to know people across the nation. It's worked for me. It's always worked for me. I met great people through LinkedIn nationwide, friends, business partners, the whole nine. So I do want to touch on a little bit about what it takes to effectively network, and how you can take steps to really put yourself out there and reach people that you never thought you could reach. I think we overthink as people how to network, when it's really just relationship building. So I don't even like to use the term networking, right? Because that puts you in a professional space, right? I think we need to learn how to build relationships with people, and that's business and personal. Because at the end of the day, we're all human. We do more than just work, and I think that goes a long way, especially in the professional space, when you're networking, not just talking about what you do in your career. These people have their favorite food, their favorite books, their movies, kids. Like, it's other things that revolve, other than your 9 to 5 or your entrepreneurial journey, right? Or whatever you do to make ends meet. So having those conversations, finding those commonalities, and utilizing the organizations you're a part of to network is key. So I always tell people to start with your university. Well, for students, start with the university. Then start with maybe the organizations you involve in, you do community relations with. So Atlanta Community Food Bank could be one for me, or Habitat for Humanity is another organization. I got Alpha Kappa Psi. I have Adobe now. I have Wells Fargo. I got Arthur Blank. Those are all networks that I can utilize as leverage to help me advance my career. And I think that's key. A lot of people don't even think about the network they already have. Before you even dive into another network, realize that you've already planted seeds over the span of your lifetime that you can go back and utilize to advance your career. Use the people you already know as leverage, because that person has their own community and another person has their own community. So just because you know that person, they might know somebody else that can help you out in the long run. Because I don't necessarily know everything, right? But I know people that might be able to help you. So just by knowing me, you have access to my community. And by having it like a mutually beneficial relationship is also key. So when I'm networking, I look for people that's going to actually add value to me, but I'm also going to add value to them. And I think it's good to do that, because no one feels like they're being utilized or taken advantage of. So even like with my mentors, I know they're giving me a lot of like great value every day in and out. So I always ask them, hey, is there anything I can do to help you? Is there any small task I can knock out for you? Just to make sure that they know that, hey, I really value, you giving me gems on how to be an entrepreneur, how to invest in the stock market, how to be a great man in society. Just, giving them, showing thanks for all that they provide me as a man. So I think just having that, being cognizant of how you treat people is key, whether it's professional or personal. And I think being kind, being genuine goes a long way because people can read right through you, especially when networking on LinkedIn. I always tell people reach out with intention, but also be genuine and never ask for anything in a message. So with me specifically, like when I reached out to the talent acquisition at AT&T, I reached out like, hey, I'm Leander Howard II. I'm a double major at Georgia State, marketing and finance. I recently applied to the B2B sales development program. I seen that you were the talent acquisition for the program, and I just wanted to get to know you a little bit better and learn more about the position. I didn't ask him for really much, but to get on the phone, right? And that's all you should do, because it gives that person leverage. If you're asking for a referral in a message that doesn't even know you, where they don't even have to reply. But when you get people on the phone, it's real time action. It's real time interaction. So they can't really do much but to reply to you. So it's like you're putting them on the spot, and they have to acknowledge that. So I think that's the most strategic method or strategic way to network, is most definitely be genuine, but never ask for anything else but to get to know that person. That's it. And networking it takes time. And I think that's another thing. So I constantly network because I never know when I need to tap into or utilize that person to help me out. So it's not like I'm networking because I found an opportunity. I'm networking nonstop just to have that network and to actually meet different people. I value different perspectives, because I might think one way, another person might think another way, and we create an awesome idea. Next startup, So I think that most definitely networking is most definitely key when you do apply for jobs. And I can kind of tell you about my journey with Adobe is how I got into Adobe, man. I never applied for the role at Adobe. Never put in the application. And that's another thing I want to touch on too, is like referrals are key. They're key. You have a 2% chance of landing the first round interview when you apply for a job online or through a job placement site like Glassdoor, Indeed, whatever the case may be, or maybe that company's career site. And you have a 40% chance of landing an interview once you get that referral. So the way the process works is it's two different piles, right, of resumes. So you have a application pack application what's it called? My bad. You have a online application resume pal, and then you have a referral resume pal. So as an HR recruiter, I have maybe 50 people in the referral stack and 500 plus in the application stack. Any human being will go to the 50 stack before I go to the 500 stack, right? And if I find my 50 people within that 50 stack, I'm not going to the 500 stack, because people will always hire who they like, know, and trust. Simple. That's like me, for example. If I know Danette, I like Danette, I know and trust Danette, I will hire her over somebody that I don't know that submitted their application. Even if she doesn't know how to do the job. Because I like, know, and trust her, I can teach her how to do that. I can guide her. Because we already have that. We already built our relationship. We have that foundation to where we understand how each other works. So why am I going to spend time trying to get to know someone and trying to get them acclimated with how I do things when I can just hire someone that I already built a relationship with and teach them everything they need to know? So when I go back to that referral stack and the application stack, referrals are key because it sets you up for success. I've never applied for a job with a referral and didn't get the first round interview. Never. They say it's a 40% chance. I say it's a 99.9% chance. Because that's just how it's happened. And it brings what the referral does, it allows somebody to vouch for you. So somebody in the company had to recommend you to be hired for this position. So in the HR recruiter's mind, it's like, okay, we hired this person to work at our company for a reason. And now they're vouching for somebody else to be hired for this specific role. Let's give them a shot. Right. Me and Danette met on LinkedIn. That's the power of LinkedIn, man. It's crazy. Like, and it's so like LinkedIn's algorithms are unlimited, man. You can find literally anybody and everybody on LinkedIn. Right. She reached out to me out of nowhere. I got an inbox. Hey, I see you do this. I see you got your resume writer and career coach. Would love for you to hop on a Zoom call. Of course. Let's do it. But it's like we have to really hone in on networking, and if you really want to advance your career, referrals are key. I never apply for a job now without a referral because I know what the referral does for me. People have to understand, you have to separate yourself. Anybody can twiddle their thumbs and fingers on a computer and submit an application. The internet is accessible to everybody now. And I think we forget about the human connection. So it's another thing I touch on. So like, I don't care how many machines, technology the world may create. People created that technology. People created those machines. So you need to be in touch with the people behind the machine. And you know how you beat the ATS system? You know how you beat the ATS system, the applicant tracking system? It's by getting a referral, because the system will never see you. Like I said, I never applied for a job. I never applied for the financial analyst position at Adobe. I got a referral from somebody in the company that passed my resume on to the HR recruiter. A month later, I got an email saying we want to interview you for the position. And that's when it started. Had the first round interview, then I had a technical interview. I had to do an Excel assessment. The interview process was crazy. So I did a technical assessment for the financial analyst role. And after that, I had to present to a finance manager. And then they flew me out to San Jose to do my final round interview with 3 finance managers on site. So it was most definitely a process, but I've been on interviews like that. So Microsoft, I flew out to Microsoft for a final round interview, but it was like, I think it was 2 or maybe 3 interviews before I even got to the final round. And the final round interview was 4 interviews with managers for 45 minutes each. So it can be a little overwhelming at times. I try to tell people just to stay strong and really just be yourself, man. I believe that, how many people of color? I believe that the job is already yours, What's for you is already yours. It's just, are you going to put the work in to get there? So, and then but I mean, with diversity, like it's crazy. Like even at Wells Fargo, man, you walk around the office and you're happy to see another black brother or black woman in the office. You're excited, bro. You I get excited to see you because you just don't see them as often. And I think that's another issue. I'm speaking tonight on a panel, Amplifying Black Voices on Salting. So check that out on LinkedIn. Connect with me on LinkedIn, Leander Howard II. And I'm speaking tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern about Black lives and how we matter. But yeah, diversity and inclusion is crazy, man. Companies, claim they value diversity and inclusion, but you see one black man get hired or one black woman get hired. I was probably, I think maybe it was like one or two black men and women combined within like my floor or like my team area at Wells Fargo. It's crazy. Just to see like it's not many of us. It's a lot of us, but it's not many of us, right? And I think that's really another reason why I'm going to Adobe is to break that barrier, to try to even get more black people into the company. Because now that I've already got my foot in, it's my duty. It's my duty to get somebody in. And not just somebody, another black person in. Because that's what we need. We need more of us everywhere, man. We are not just frontline workers. We are not just frontline workers. We are intelligent, we are smart, we are beautiful. We are able to challenge the status quo and make things happen. So I do believe that is my duty. And now I kind of want to transition to being an entrepreneur, man. So non-blacks want to know how they can be better allies. Okay. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna talk about this tonight too, but I think just educating yourself and holding your own people accountable for the things they do. Because black people have been calling it out. We call out racism all the time, but it's us calling racism out on us. You know, so it's different when you have the white community calling it out on the white community. That makes sense. So it's like if my people are calling me out because I did something wrong, it's like, damn, but you my brother. You gonna call me out on that? You know what I'm saying? It hit home different. It most definitely hits different. And I think that's what it's gonna take for us to see change. I honestly do. I think that's the only way. It's holding the white community, holding the white community accountable for their actions. But speaking on the entrepreneurial journey, Spark Your Resume. It's an online resume writing and career advancement services company. I launched it March 23rd, my 23rd birthday. We specialize in resume enhancement, LinkedIn profile development, interview coaching, resume distribution, and career coaching. Pretty much create the company to help real people obtain real results. Um, I just seen a lot of people struggling. How I really got into like resume writing, I was just naturally helping people with resumes nonstop undergrad, like in the career advancement center, at my university, things of that nature. And I was like, man, one day I was like, man, I should start a business off of this. Because this is something that people really, really need. And it's not just a resume. So I named it Spark Your Resume because that's the start. Your resume is a very, very important document. It highlights your professional experience in the matter of one page, and it gives another person a 30-second overview of what you've accomplished throughout your professional career. And the resume is not just used for applying for jobs. It's used when it's used when networking. That's the first thing people are asking for. Hey, you got a resume I can look at? Can you send me your resume? It's very important to have a solid resume. Um, that's your introduction. I call it your virtual introduction. That's the first thing I see or acknowledge about somebody else. That's the first resource I have to see if I want to continue this relationship or do business or hire this person. Before the interview even gets conducted, it's the resume. So having a resume, you want to make sure you highlight your education, your skills, your professional experience, your community involvement, and even sometimes your interests, depending on how much room you have on the resume. Um, I do see a lot of doer resumes rather than achiever resumes. And the difference between a doer and achiever resume is simply that in a doer resume, I tell all my clients, you're telling what you did in the job, which is what you have to do, but it's not telling me what value you brought to that company. So specifically, financial analyst at Adobe, right? I can go on Google right now and look up what a financialist does in their role, whether it's at Adobe, whether it's at AT&T, whether it's at Microsoft. A financial analyst is a financial analyst. But what I can't look up on Google is what Leander Howard II did as a financial analyst at Adobe. And that's the difference. Nobody can tell you what you achieved in your role but you. So I think that's the difference between the achiever resume and a doer resume. I want HR recruit, they want to know what value can you bring to the table based on your previous work experience. Are you going to be able to provide value to our company? Why should we hire you? In the matter of, or why should I even hire you? Why should we call you to conduct an interview to get to know you better? Because your resume is not going to get you hired. Let's not get that twisted. Your resume will never get you hired. Your resume is to get you an interview, to articulate your skill sets, your achievements, and how you add value to a specific company. That's it. I would never tell anyone that, hey, me doing your resume is going to get you this job. No, because it's not. It never will. It's only going to open that door for you to articulate how you can add value. And if that's not one of your strong suits, I suggest you conduct mock interviews nonstop. Get on calls with your friends. Y'all partying, conduct those mock interviews. Get on Zoom. Zoom is free. Zoom is free. I think it's up to 4 people before they cut you off at 40 minutes. Most people got a phone. Most people got a laptop. Get on Zoom. Look up some behavioral questions. Practice in the mirror. It's things you can do. There are no excuses. One good thing did turn out of Corona. Everybody's on the same level playing field. Who is going to take this opportunity to advance their career is the question. Those are the people that's going to reap all the benefits. Because I could choose to go watch Netflix right now and chill all day. I could choose to sit on my ass and eat. But no, I started a whole business. I'm still learning. I have a course I'm about to start for a financial analyst to get myself prepared to enter the role at Adobe in August. I have 2 months till I start. Starting next week, 8 a.m., I am up until noon reviewing financial statements, learning Tableau, SAP, financial ratios, how to become a financial analyst. I'm putting myself in that mindset to where I'm already there before I enter August 3rd at Adobe. Preparation is key. But Spark Your Resume, I started, man, March 23rd. Sorry, I got a little off track. But Spark Your Resume, I started March 23rd. And I'm going to tell everybody needs to have a business. Everybody needs to have a business. Your business can be freelancing, contract, self-employed, business owner, but you need to have something that's your own. You can invest, that's a business. Group economics. because one income is too close to none. One income is too close to none. And the same man that feeds you can also starve you. As you see, has happened due to Corona. The unemployment rate is the highest it's ever been due to Corona. Because what? The same man that feeds you can also starve you. They let people go like that. But you know what? I don't know anybody in the world that starved themselves. That's why you need to have your own business. That's why one income is too close to none. I don't care what it is. Have more than one stream of income. And for me, I'm invested in stocks. I have my own business. I'm about to start Adobe. And I'm planning on buying my first rental property by next year. That's 4. I'm 23. Hopefully by 24, I have 4 streams of income. And I'm gonna keep going. Diversify your portfolio. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's how you stay stable. Generational wealth. Exactly. Generational wealth. Key. And as Black people, we got to understand that language. Life insurance. Generational wealth. Everybody has their day, right? But leave something behind for your family. So let them live a great life. I think that's what it's going to take. But you have to have your own business. It's a must. It's critical. It's key. You have to have more than one stream of income. Because like I said, one stream is just too close to none. And the same man that feeds you can starve you. And they will. As you see, they letting folks off day in, day out due to Corona, budget cuts. They don't have the funds. But look at them though. They still there. Their business is still thriving. They still making money. But they had to let you go. Just think about that. But I know Danette said, do y'all have any questions for me? That's on the live. Most definitely want to take some questions. And one thing I do want to say real quick is LinkedIn is very, very important. Networking, network, relationship build. That is critical. That is how you separate yourself from everyone else. Because I told you from earlier, people hire who they like, know, and trust. Just that simple. And it will always be that way. Always. Oh yeah, y'all can leave questions on the post. I believe the video will be recorded and I can always answer. Shoot me a message on Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever the case may be, wherever we connect. And I'm always open to, have discussions on anything really. So just reach out and I'll most definitely get back to you. Okay, cool. Yeah, thank y'all. You can find me on Instagram at Leander_the connector. LinkedIn, Leander Howard II, Facebook, Leander Howard II, Twitter, you_can't be me. I think that's about it. Yeah, that's all my social media. So thank y'all. How to advance your career has been great, been a pleasure. I hope y'all gained some valuable insight. And I think the last thing I want to leave y'all with, man, is just keep going. It takes resilience, it takes determination, it takes strength to really reach the ultimate level of success. And success doesn't happen overnight. So keep going, keep pushing, keep fighting, and you'll most definitely your time will come.
Leander. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, everyone, I want to thank Leander for coming on today. He's our first presenter. I just want to tell you, like he said, I found him on Facebook. I thought he was older than he is. I didn't think he was 23. First thing I said to him is, you got your MBA? He said, no, I just got my BA, right? So he's young. He is doing so much. He's out there doing so much. And I felt like once I spoke to him and I heard his story of failings in school, trying to pursue a career as a football player, realizing that wasn't for him, and then changing the whole trajectory of his life at 23 without his mom pushing him, without the parent to push, but just stepping back and saying, I have to change something. I thought that what he has to say, his story would resonate with a lot of us. You know, I'm way older than Leander. I could be his mom, but don't tell anybody. Many of you are older than him. Many of you I know have been laid off in the past. I thought that this young man has given us an example of resilience, example of how we can step back and how we can say, what can I do to change this, okay? There is this idea that this time that we're in right now is very hopeless, and I want you to know that there's a lot for us to look forward to here in Corona Daze, CDPD. There will be more people like Leander, other types of people who are seasoned professionals, meaning long-term professionals, people who are business owners. And we are bringing them to you so that you can hopefully begin to make some of these connections that Leander told you about. I hope you heard where he said, I didn't apply for the job, okay? He was referred to the job and got the job. And he may not have highlighted it. I want to highlight the significance of a Black man going to work at a tech firm in Silicon Valley. I don't want to give the numbers, but I know Google has like 2% Black, okay? Silicon Valley as a whole has less than 10% Black. Now, right. I told Leander he needs to bring some women out there. I don't care, women of all colors, because we need more women in tech. Right? So these are the things that we are going to dig into here in Corona Daze PD. I see there is a question. It says, where did you learn of this? Are there any good resources to share? So I'm not exactly sure what, that was from Winnie. Winnie, if you chime in quickly, I know it's kind of a lag. What were you referring to when you said, where did you learn of this? And in terms of any good resources to share, I'm not exactly sure what you were referring to because there's a lag, but what we will do is we can respond to that question a little later. Okay, sorry, you can respond to it now, go ahead.
Yeah, so resources, man, like I said, Google is free. And I think that one of my top skills is being resourceful, to be honest. I find out a lot about different opportunities. I actually do have a form that I send to Net. It's a diversity events form. Usually all companies do it year round, or like every year they'll have the same event, just different times. So you can look it up on Google, like the name of the event, and find out when they're doing it for this year. But I got the form, I think it was like 2018. But they're still ongoing events that happen annually, right? So I can send that to you. But I think resources such as that Forbes trip set me up. I'm talking about that network is crazy. Like you got people from all over, great people, man, like Black, all types of races, right? And we're all connected through Forbes. And it's kind of like they just send so many resources where I don't even have to search. It's just coming to me. And I think that's another thing. So like being a part of being surrounded by like-minded individuals or being part of a vast community of diversity will do wonders for you because you don't even have to search anymore. It's to the point where it's being sent to you.
Okay, are there any other questions? I don't have any, but I just want to say I don't want to keep everybody because you all know I get long-winded. I don't know if you actually understand this. That okay, Leander's 23. He said 2 years ago, 3 years ago now, 2017, he was on his way to flunking out of school. Okay, he's a black male. He was on his way to flunking out of school. He decided to turn this whole thing around, and now he's going to Silicon Valley. I keep highlighting this because I know that there are many of you right now who might feel that you are at your lowest professionally. You might be at your lowest professionally, but it can turn around, right? So this young man, 23, black, in the South, in the US, turned it around, okay? And you too can turn it around, and we want to help to give you some resources and tools that can help you to do that. Those of you who are not on LinkedIn, even if you didn't want to out yourself on the poll, send me a message. If we are not friends on Facebook, connect with me, become friends to Net Edwards, NETTEDWARDS, so your messages don't get lost in that crazy Facebook dead messages, and I will help you establish your LinkedIn. Once you have your LinkedIn established, we're going to talk about how to maximize it, and there's a lot coming up. I'm going to end this now because we're going long, and I just want to say again, thank you to Leander, and tell all of you if you have any questions, you can leave them down in the messages, and we will get back to them. And everybody knows what Forbes is, right? This man made Forbes 30 under 30, and he almost flunked out of school just 3 years ago. Like, that's amazing. So I just want you guys to know that I think Leander was a perfect first choice to come on, because unlike some of the other people who will come on and be CEOs of very big organizations and HR directors at very, very big organizations, Leander is us. He's very, very close to us. He is me, he is you. There are times when we have failed, and hopefully we all get up. You all can get up. And I'm going to say goodbye and thank you. Thank you, Leander.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Now, let's end it. Thank you.